If you're looking for a companion animal and you go to a shelter and you adopt a dog, but in your mind you're like, but I really want a cat, then don't adopt a dog. Get a cat. Or if you really want a bird, get a bird. You see what I'm saying? Hello, my friends, and welcome. If you've been watching my videos, you know that my mission on this channel is to help people to heal from codependency and to learn how to love themselves and to know their value. So welcome. I wanted to talk about something important today, and that is a very common trait with codependence. And that is that codependent people often get into relationships with people who have traits that they do not want in a relationship, or behaviors or personality traits that they do not want, and they stay in the relationship, and then they make it their mission to try to change that behavior in that person. So for example, they get into a relationship with someone who's an avid drinker when they're not into drinking, or they get into a relationship with someone who loves to travel and likes to move a lot and relocate, and they don't really have any interest in traveling. They're really more of a homebody. Or perhaps it's someone who likes to go out and party, and they're not into partying. Someone who, perhaps the codependent is someone who is very open emotionally and desires a partner who is available and likes to communicate and likes to talk about their feelings, when the other person is really shut down and emotionally walled off. So what happens is that the person who's the codependent, they get into the relationship, they start to see these traits in the other person, and they start to find themselves feeling unhappy, and they start to talk to the other person about that, and they make it a point, it becomes a point of contention, and they want the other person to change that behavior. They start to, in essence, they start to try to fix that. Because what the codependent is doing is they are wanting certain needs met. They want certain traits in a relationship, of course. But the problem is that when someone shows you who they are, when someone presents themselves to you and they say, you start dating and they say, this is who I am, this is what I like and dislike, and you do the same, you gotta believe them for who they are and for what they say and for what you see in them. So if someone is saying, I like this, and you're saying, no, I want you to be this way, I want you to change, and then you try to change them. And this is the big fallacy and the big issue that codependents do, is endeavoring to fix and change someone into who you want them to be. If you get into a relationship and you start dating someone and you see that this person is not who you want, the best thing you can do is have enough respect for yourself and have enough respect for the other person to walk away. You say, you know what? I think they're a great person, but there are some fundamental things that I want in a relationship that this person isn't going to be able to meet. And that's okay, because there is someone else out there who is better for me. What the codependent will do is, because they feel like their ability to get their needs met, their ability to find someone who has the traits that they're looking for, and because they're not filling up their own cup within themselves, is they settle for getting someone who has maybe some of the traits that they want or very little, and then they get to work, and they work really hard at trying to get those needs met from this person who is not able to do that and is not a good match for them. But the codependent is coming from a place of lack. They're coming from this place of, if I don't grab onto and hold on to this person and try to get them to be what I want, there's no one else. It's this person, and that's it. And they come at it with this sense of desperation, of feeling like that's of the pool of people available that they could have a partnership with, it's very, very small. So I have to work really hard. The other thing is that the codependent is used to having to work so hard in a relationship to get what they want, to get their needs met, to get the respect that they deserve. And you don't have to do that. Codependents learn that, well, I have to work hard for love. I have to prove myself. I have to try to get the respect that I need and deserve. I have to try to get the other person to see my value. I have to try to get them to want to be with me. Because underneath that is this deep, deep sense of abandonment and self-loathing and self-hate. Underneath that is this sense of lack, not enough. When we go into a relationship from this point of view of not being enough, what we're going to find is that we accept what we don't want. And it isn't fair to ourselves or the other person if we try to change them. Just as we wouldn't want someone to change us, we would want someone to accept us for who we are as we are right now. But if we get into a relationship when we see, this person, loves to go out and party and drink and comes home drunk, and if you are not into that lifestyle, that's not for you, then what's going to happen is it's going to create a lot of tension. Where you are in your paths is not meeting. But the honorable thing to do is to step away from that relationship and to give yourself the time to figure out, who do you need to be first in yourself to be whole? What do you need in your life to feel good about yourself first and foremost before you try to date and find a partner? First things first, you got to feel secure with yourself. You have to feel confident and comfortable and say, what if there is no one that could, that is a good match for me? Am I going to live the rest of my life being unhappy? Am I going to live the rest of my life being upset or feeling not good enough and unhappy? And I'm walking around, I see all these other people, families and couples. No. You have to get to the point where you say, I like who I am, I know who I am, and I love myself for who and what I am. And I don't have to change for someone, and I don't need to make someone change for me. You're comfortable in your own skin. Now, I know we're not comfortable in our own skin every single second of the day, but by and large, for the most part, you are comfortable with you. That doesn't mean every minute is easy and you're always sailing, super high all the time, but you love yourself enough. You respect yourself enough, and you like who you are. You like being in your own company. You're confident. You know what you bring to the table. And that's when when you start to get into that place where you're like, if someone shows up, great. If not, that's okay. Because I'm still happy with me, and I'm still happy with the life I'm living and the life I'm creating. And when you get to that place, that's when you will attract someone who is also in that space. Someone who's not looking to be rescued. Someone who's doesn't want you to fix their problems. Someone who is already whole within themselves, just like you are. And this is such a fundamental point that we have to become healed within ourselves first. We can't look to someone else to fill us up and say, oh, because I have a man in my life, now I have value, and now my life has meaning, and now whatever, I feel good about myself. We gotta feel good about ourselves first. You have to have the ability to know who you are, what you want, what is your path in life, what did you come here to do, and to be able to communicate that to someone else. If you want someone who is open and a good communicator, and you want someone who's emotionally available, and if someone else comes along and they're emotionally unavailable, like I said in the beginning of the video, then don't stick around. Let them be who they are. Recognize that you don't have to work hard for love. You don't have to engage in this uphill battle, this constant struggle. Sometimes what we do is we positively project. We see this person and they have some behaviors that we don't like. They got these rough edges, and we think, I can help smooth out those rough edges. I can help. I can be that one to change them. And you can't. I'm speaking from experience. The problem is the codependent thinks that I can be the one to save them, to save the lost puppy, to save the world, and yes. But the problem is the other person isn't interested in that. And it will be in this point of constant strife in your relationship, and it won't be a healthy relationship because you're not accepting them for who they are. The positive projection is, this is what I know they could be, and I'm going to ignore when they say the things that they are not, the things that maybe they say they're not a very nice person, or that they're an asshole or whatever, and you're going to say, no, you're not, you're really sweet, you're really nice, I've seen how you are. Believe people when they say who they are, instead of who you want them to be, who you wish they would be, or because you see another part of them that is nicer. Don't go into it thinking that you're going to change them and you're going to be the one to help turn their life around, because that's not how it works. So this is something that we have to work on diligently. We have to allow ourselves to heal and to get to know ourselves, so that we can attract someone in our life who is basically our mirror, who is also on that same path. So again, it always comes from within. It always starts with yourself, always. So keep going on that healing path. I hope that this video has helped give you some clarity. This is something that a lot of people do, and that's why I'm making this video, to help people to recognize this and to stop that pattern and to turn the attention back to your own healing first and foremost. Thank you so much for joining me, and I'll see you next week.